I probably won't be on long because you know how it is in the morning with my jacked up sinuses. So, look, the reason why I think people should uh, root for Coach Prime is because, well, this is the thing. I don't know all the particulars, but you want to root for people to succeed when the system is not in your favor. Meaning, you know, I look at how college football is done, and, this is just my opinion. And from what I hear, which is not factual, this is just all hearsay. With college football, you got to be part of a good old boy network. There is this whole um, paying for athletes, even though they don't pay, because of course you can't do that. But there's ways to make sure that these athletes are compensated. Now, I think things are starting to change now that these athletes can, really make money off of NIL, the name, image, and likeness. I think with this whole transfer portal thing, I'll tell you what, it makes it so that these athletes have options. But I think with Coach Prime was he had to show his capability in spite of what his circumstances were. He went to Jackson State University. His salary was nowhere near what all of these other Power Five coaches are making. At Jackson State University, he had garbage facilities. He had to take half of his salary and donate it so that they can. I think, if I remember correctly, he had to help them finish off their locker rooms. Um, he had to leverage his, I think, connections to make sure that these kids had uniforms. Now, I want to say it was like a year or two ago. I remember I had a spare moment, and I was home with my husband on a Saturday, and they happened to show, I don't know what station it was, the HBCUs um, playing football or whatever. And I didn't know who was playing, and I said to my husband, like, I had no idea. It just came out. I said, they're showing high school football now. I said, you would think that we were the deep south, meaning the quality of the production, like the production quality of how they were you know, um, broadcasting, it was not very good. The uniforms looked like little boy uniforms. I don't know what it was, but they didn't look like crisp, clean uniforms, all that good stuff. And so when I made that comment, I was like, this is, what are we watching? Like, why do we care about high school football? And he was like, this is college football. Uh, whatever was on. And I was like, this doesn't look good. So the point I'm getting at was he had to go to a place where he was able to help bring in, television, like broadcasting, like, more like professional, high production quality, you know, production. He was able to get them multiple uniforms. He was able to help them get like the better facilities and sponsorships and all kinds of stuff. He had to take his meager salary. When I say meager, this is in comparison to what other coaches are getting, right? I mean, it's still more than what the average person makes, right? But, uh, excuse me, in comparison to what other coaches make, he took like half his salary or a portion of his salary to help them um, complete their locker rooms. He also never, well, I can't say never, but at the time last year when I was reading up, like he wasn't getting all of the money. Ugh, like you can tell, I'm going through it the inside of my ears. He never got all the money from the ticket sales. Like they was supposedly sell out these games, but he wasn't getting his cut. It was like so much going on. So, he didn't get all the, what you call it, the 5-star recruits, but he took a program and he turned it into a winning program. And so many people doubted him. They're like, he's just all about him and Flash and all stuff like that. I'm like, well, newsflash, he's always been that way. He has always been that way. Just go look at the history of who he is in his tapes and stuff. So for him to finally get an opportunity at a Power 5 coaching position, and He had to clean house. He brought over some of his play. He brought his sons. He brought over Travis Hunter. He was like one of the top recruits like a couple years ago, or maybe 3 years ago. I can't remember. He had to go against everything. You've got these college coaches like really ticked off because he's running his mouth. I'm like here for it, and he's not. He had to do it in a way that like behind the scenes, these college coaches, the way they go about it, this good old boy network, and how they look for certain types of kids, and it's just the way that they go about recruiting is different. And so for me, I like the fact that he said, I'm going to show you in spite of my circumstances as far as like what he has to work with. Look, Colorado had to go look for the money to go pay him. And remember, he's not getting paid like Nick Saban out of like Alabama, or I don't even know what Dabo Sweeney makes out of Clemson. So, and let me tell you what he has done for college football. I want you to listen. It's not based on facts, by the way. So a few years ago, I was working on a particular contract, and one of my coworkers, he was a walk-on for Tennessee. And he had me hee-hawing because he's like, look, I was the bottom of the barrel. I wasn't recruited. I was a walk-on. So no, I did not get a chance to travel with the team and stuff like that. He was like, I was lucky I had a uniform. But he's honest, right? Like he was a walk-on for Tennessee, basically did a little bit of practicing, but ultimately he's like, let me make this clear. I was not one of these studs you see on TV. But he's from Tennessee. He's such a huge Tennessee Vols fan. Uh, yeah. So with that being said, he was like asking me where I went to school, and so I was like, well, for undergrad I did this, for graduate school I did this, and he was like, wait, what? So you're a so and so? And I was like, supposedly. He was like, your master's degree is from one of the teams in the Power Five. I didn't know what that meant. I have a point to this. He was like, you need to be this, that, and the other. And I was like, I do. So I started buying gear. He started teaching me the ropes of college football, how to like make sure like on Tuesdays and the AP poll comes out, but it's all garbage because there's a couple of polls. And he was breaking the whole thing down. So I got caught up into this college football thing, right? And so now I'm a fan. Now don't ask me to like know stuff because my main thing is to make sure I wear the pretty gear and be like, go team. Okay, it's just where I'm at with it. Okay, but I like it. I'm learning the game and everything like that. I mean, I've always watched football, but I never got into college football. So now he's like, no, you got to know about the Red River rivalry and all this other stuff. Now, during that time, and you got Jackson State doing this thing, and we were talking, I was learning, and this, that, and the other. And he's like, well, we'll see what happens. He's like, eventually, you probably now, by the way, this guy's a white guy. So he's like, eventually, Dion may come out of there. We'll see what happens if he gets an opportunity. But he was like, if he goes to like a Power Five, it's going to be a whole other thing. So anyway, long story short, fast forward, and I move on to a different like role and contract and stuff, and he was doing something else, but we always keep in contact. And I was talking to him about like he's gonna go to Colorado, blah blah blah, and he's like, well, look, I am interested to see what happens. He's like, this is gonna be tough. Now, in defense of him, it doesn't matter who it is as long as it's not against Tennessee. So he has like extreme hatred for like Alabama and some of these schools. It's just like equal opportunity dislike all the way around because he's a big Tennessee fan. But we were talking about the whole Dion thing, and this is where I was going with it. My buddy that I knew from work, he got me into watching college football. What Dion has done is got a whole bunch of people now like glued to the TV. They're invested. I'm invested. I'm invested in the Colorado Buffaloes. That's not even my team. Okay? And so, yeah, yeah. He's got me invested. I want to know what's going to happen. I want to see what's going to happen. And when he's got people paying attention, he's got people glued to the TV now. He's got Colorado popping and locking. I'm sure all their gear is sold out. I'm sure their gear is now gone up and has gone up in price. I'm sure the local economy is enjoying the effects of the Coach Prime era, right? I'm sure local businesses are popping and locking, tchotchkes or whatever, all the different things that you would get for your school, like the gear. You get the shirts, the sweatshirts. I'm sure the the sweatpants, the socks, the little stickers for your car. I don't know, the little Colorado Buffalo plushie, the foam finger, the finger, the game day fingers. You've got hats. You've got everything. All the gears, your local restaurants are popping and locking. So that means hotels, right? Those are going to be full. People are going to be gainfully employed at the staff there for like the housekeeping, the people who have the contracts for washing all the linen, the people who are the bars, on and on and on. You should be interested in what happens too. He's bringing so much energy and life into college football, which already has that, but he's bringing in new fans. Like, I'm even more invested now. I love like trying to read up on stuff, like just trying to figure out, well, who's playing next. And I talked to my little buddy, and he's like, no, 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 you got to understand, this is how it's going down. He is a true college football fan. Okay, he knows everything. He knows all the coaches, the stats. He is all in. And so he already got on me. He's like, hey, did you get your new stuff? You got to get your new gear. He's just like, look, I already told my wife that she needs a whole new cheerleading outfit because he's a little bit of a freak. But he's like, I'm going to get her a cheerleading outfit. She's not a cheerleader, but he's like all in. He was like, you need one for your husband. I'm like, shut up. But he is, he helped me to understand. But this Coach Prime thing, I love how he's getting people to pay attention. He's getting me to pay attention. Um, I'm liking how he's like doing it in spite of what everybody says he should be doing. I like the fact that he doesn't care. He's coming in with his swag. I was like, let me tell you something. My husband said, I'm sure somebody, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody else. No, it was another buddy of mine. It might have been CBR Kid. That's the guy that I sometimes do my lives with whenever we do one. He said, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody just have a sunglasses deal already. Because I was like, they should all be coming out there on the field with like sunglasses and swag, and I know it would make people even more mad. Look at them. They're just being flashy. I would do it even more. Oh my gosh. But what I like about it was like, he's walking his walk and talking his talk. He is motivating people. I'm telling you right now, like sometimes I listen to his speeches and I'm like, I'm motivated too. I am motivated. you know, the point I'm making is he is a great story. The athletes, his sons, everyone that surrounds him, they are individually great stories, and this whole story surrounding him is great. Like, this is going to eventually be a movie. This is going to be a movie. It's going to be called like Coach Primetime. Like, it's just going to be real basic. When you're Coach, I want to say I like hearing the stories. I like how he is brushing off the naysayers. I love how he's keeping the receipts. And look, we're not expecting perfection, but I believe that that team can go accomplish a whole lot. I like how they're doing it in a very unconventional way. And if you think that all of these college coaches and teams are not paying attention, look how he's getting the best out of these kids. You know how many kids are going to want to jump into that portal and they're going to want to be a part of what he's doing? Do you realize how he's hiring coaches and giving them opportunities, right? And people are going to see, like, oh, this can be done this way. So this can be done with black coaches, and it can be done in this, and you can get kids to perform in this manner. They can get kids and talk to them in a way that they understand. right? Because a lot of these kids are not going to come up with the pedigree of Peyton and Eli Manning or Tom Brady, right? They're not going to have that football, like they're not going to have those people, those boosters who are going to go to bat for them. So to have somebody like a Coach Prime who's like, hey, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you how this is done. And you don't have to be those guys, right? You may not ever be those guys, but you're going to be you. You are you. You know, you can do you. You can be you, and you can accomplish this way. I just really am enjoying the ride in this story. And there are people who are waiting for him to fall. And I feel like, you know what? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. I am enjoying it. I think you should be invested too. Let me tell you, like I am any opportunity I can to tune into the Colorado Buffaloes. I'm tuning in. So, all right. I'm not as bad as I was yesterday. I'm really trying to stay roided up on my medication. So, let me know your thoughts. All right.